The US Secretary of State has all it takes to solve the Gulf's political crisis. His country has huge influence in the region and strong relations with the countries involved. But ending the standoff between Qatar and its neighbors won't be easy. The US's top diplomat made a second visit to Doha in less than 3 days. Rex Tillerson met with the Emir of Qatar and then held discussions with Qatar's foreign minister and the Kuwaiti mediator. Officials have not said much about the nature of those discussions. Tillerson headed back home soon after the meeting was over, leaving behind Qatar's foreign minister and a delegation from Kuwait talking behind closed doors for almost 2 hours.
My role here is to support the efforts of the Emir of Kuwait and the Kuwaiti mediator to bring what we can to the discussions to help both sides more fully understand the concerns of the relative parties and also point out possible solutions to those.
Despite the shuttle diplomacy, there appears to be little sign of progress. When Qatar and the US signed a memorandum on fighting terrorism earlier this week, Saudi Arabia and its allies said the move was insufficient and that Qatar should do more.
Qatar has always been falsely accused by the countries laying siege to Qatar. Qatar was the first country today to sign the Memorandum of Understanding with the United States, and we call on the countries imposing the siege on Qatar to join us as signatories to this memorandum.
It's been more than a month since Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Egypt broke off ties and imposed air, sea and land blockade on Qatar. They accused Doha of supporting extremism, an accusation Qatar has dismissed as baseless. The blockading countries issued a list of 13 demands for Qatar to meet before the embargo is lifted. And they have warned of more isolation if Qatar fails to meet their demands, which include curbing ties with Iran, severing relations with the Muslim Brotherhood, shutting down the Al Jazeera media network, and closing a Turkish military base. The worst crisis to hit the region in decades raises concerns about the future of this region. US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson faces the delicate task of convincing all the parties to set their differences aside and negotiate a political settlement. Qatar insists it will only talk to the Saudis, the Emiratis, the Bahrainis and the Egyptians only if the embargo is lifted. Hashem Ahelbarra, Al Jazeera, Doha.